All right, everybody, we are back again for our second matchup here of this broadcast. Again, Tuki joined alongside Mr. B Major on the call today. A great first series in the books. This one promising to deliver as well, as it is number 3 ranked Goons, at least heading into play today. Number 3 ranked Goons taking on SAWO ESPORTS, who start off the day in 4th. Very much looking forward to this particular matchup. But before we get into kind of breaking down the aspects of this, let's get you caught up on everything that's been happening around the league. Again, a lot of games being played today, not just in our matchups on broadcast, as we get a look there at some of the recent results. And again, a very big series being played right now between YMCA Esports and Stargazing, with a YMCA getting a big win there. Again, those two teams both entered play today in relegation spots. And on the other side, the other result that we see there, Havu Gaming, a big overtime win against HV71.
Yeah, and it's huge because right now IQ is in that relegation spot, but like you said, Tugi, right above them are both Stargazing and YMCA, and IQ does have a majority of games in hand on both of those two sides, so that is a big result. But another big series, Havu and HV71. Havu, who had that rough start to the season, kind of trying to navigate their way without their longtime captain and flyer Kungan, but have gotten things going, versus an HV71 team that got a hot start to the season and have slowed down a bit since, trying to keep themselves in the thick of that playoff race. You know, it's so dangerous when you get too far behind the 8-ball, kind of gets yourself out of position, especially as we do kind of enter the latter stages of the regular season. So that's another big series, especially for playoff positioning for both of those two sides.
Hey, look at the live standings before we head into the information here for the breakdown. Again, 3 and 4, Goons and SAWO, but Goons tied for the league lead in games played with 24 out of this 30-game regular season. Of course, for Lunda as well, trying to keep as close to H-Reds as they possibly can. Of course, that right-hand side, bottom right-hand side of the bracket is where it gets interesting. Again, 13, 14, and 15 are locked in, or will be locked in at the end of the season. Not right now, obviously. There's still a lot to be decided, as you see by the points there. But those 3 spots are very important for teams to avoid, as they will have to play a relegation series against one of our Pro Division teams to stay in the Elite Division. Whereas, again, that 16th place team automatically relegated. And IQ, again, certainly perhaps rooting for the likes of YMCA Esports and Stargazing. I think they would hope that both teams could lose and not pick up any points. But with YMCA winning that first game, certainly IQ going to be rooting for them to pull off the double over Stargazing. They'll leave the door open, just 2 points back with 4 games at hand for IQ. And that is certainly possible for them to make up that ground.
Yeah, not only that, but I'm sure they're rooting for Havu to go ahead and take care of business against HV71, as well as many teams can kind of stay back in that 13 to 15 range. The more that helps IQ, having those games in hand, having chances to gain and jump past a few of these teams to kind of get away from that bottom 4 positioning. And maybe if they can put the right string of wins together, get themselves back in the playoff hunt. Because let me tell you, the one benefit of being able to do pro coverage with my good friend It's King Lime, there are a lot of really good teams in that pro division now be in the top 4 and gunning for one of those 4 spots. So you do not want to be in 14, 13, or 15, because boy, those teams in the pro division, they want to get up here, they want to do it bad. There's a lot of talent down there in the top flight up there.
So with that, let's get you a look here at the stats for our featured matchup of this broadcast. It is Goons against SAWO, both with rather prolific offenses, but the story for Goons, despite their record, that goals against, kind of flirting with disaster here by being that close to an even goal differential.
Yeah, it is definitely not ideal. They're a team that can put the puck in the net, but they let up a few too many compared to what they normally would like to do. And you kind of see that as well reflect in their penalty kill numbers, 77.78%. More times than not, you're hoping to be right at or above that 80% mark, which ironically enough, that's exactly where SAWO Esports are. So Goon's going to have to step up in their own end, especially against a SAWO team that we've kind of seen rise as a really strong offensive side the last couple of seasons. So Goon's going to have to work cut out for them. And one thing that very well could help them is they lifted their name somewhat. They hit, and they hit a lot. 339 hits, excuse me, so far this season. That's the highest mark in the league. So expect a very physical game from that side on the left.
Consistently the most physical. As a result, those second most penalty minutes in the league. It's always a fine balance for Goons. Let's get you all a look at the lineups here for this particular matchup. As we have, of course, the front three of Goons, Pika Roger, Keskitalo, and Leitinen. Captain Kriketsi with Wenger on defense and Supreeks in goal. And we actually have a late substitution. The word's in there. The Finn Kona is going to be between the pipes. So there you go. We'll talk about that in a moment here because not a bad thing, certainly, with that goaltending swap. For SAWO Esports, though, it is last season's Rookie of the Year in Yurska with Moja and Vatu, Captain Tombu and Temu on defense, and again, the face of this season, Nike in goal. We'll start off with that center comp, Keskitalo and Moja. So you got to look at the numbers. Very respectable for both of these two. Perhaps that face-off percentage, the thing to really focus on.
Yeah, it's going to be something to really kind of look at because faceoffs can really determine the way that the possession goes, and that's going to be important for Goons because they have struggled a little bit in their defensive zone. So we're going to have to see how that kind of develops. As we've seen Mose, he's been solid in the faceoff circle so far this season, but aside from that faceoff battle, everything pretty even for the most part. Only 2 points separate these two. Both of them have dished the puck a little bit while also contributing on the goal scoring side as well. And obviously, Keskitalo playing 4 more games than Moja has, but nevertheless, both of these two guys at a solid pace, contributing and playing that solid two-way game that most of these elite teams would hope to see from their centermen.
On the defensive side of things, or the winger side of things for both these two teams, getting ahead of myself here. I'm eager for the action to start. Very much looking forward to this matchup. It is Pika Roger and Leitinen, Yurska and Avatu, and simply put, these are 4 of the best point-producing players in the ECL Elite Division.
Oh, without a doubt, you have Ladinen, who is in the top 3 for both assists and points, and then you have Vatu, who is in the top 5 for both assists and points, actually second in the league in goals behind, I believe it is Playmaker. So you're kind of seeing a lot of the goal-scoring power that we have in the Elite Division show up in these games today, and all of these guys, they just have that ability. Whenever the puck is on their stick, they're always a threat to score. It doesn't matter where they are in the offensive zone, you always have to keep your eyes peeled for either of these 4 guys. It's going to be a lot of fun to kind of see who's going to be able to make that impact more than the other, especially considering that these two are so tight in the standings, and this could really bode well for either side, depending on who's able to capture how many points.
Now I'm overjoyed to say we get to look at the defensive side of things. Again, for Goons, Kriketsi, and Wenger. On the other side, Tombu and Temu. And you talk about the physicality. Where does most of it come from? It's Kriketsi, despite switching from forward to defense this season, has not stopped him in terms of being arguably the most physical player in the ECL Elite Division. Just absolutely ridiculous, the level of physicality that he brings. On the other side, of course, someone like Temu stands out, being the leading point getter amongst these players here in this matchup.
Yeah, and if you want to talk something impressive about Kriketsi, you see the 176 hits. How about this, Tugi? That's more than 10 teams that are in this division. That is absolutely absurd how physical he is, how much that impacts the game. And you don't see that too often where you have a guy that is able to get so physical on that side of the ice. He's going to have Vatu on his side, a guy that has 21 goals, second in the league. So that's going to be a matchup that's going to be really fun to watch, how that physicality kind of affects some of the spacing and some of the comfort level that we see from one of the better goal scorers in this division.
Our final head-to-head, of course, the goaltending duel that we have here. Again, Finn Kona is between the pipes here for this particular matchup, going up against Nike. Now, Finn Kona, of course, a long-standing member of this division. Solid goalkeeper. Numbers about where you'd want them to be. Certainly a very solid record. But then there's Nike, who throughout this season is inching closer and closer to what we thought was an unsustainable level of efficiency in goal, but over an 84% save percentage. Maybe not. NHL 22 and the way that goaltending works in this game has just gelled with his play style, perhaps better than any other goaltender in the world.
Yeah, and obviously last season he broke out with that monstrous season. One goaltender of the year is our cover player for the season in full uniform and all. But like you said, Tuki, we even talked about it at the end of last season. We were going through the awards. We're like, man, this is a great season from Unique, one of the better goaltending seasons that I think we've really ever seen in this division. But it's going to be pretty tough to replicate that again. But yet here we are, over halfway, over 2/3 through the season, and he is doing it yet again. I think it's safe to say that he is in that upper echelon of goalies. When you bring up names like Face, you bring up names like Kape, I think you have to bring up a name in Unique of being not just one of the top goalies in the EU and in the Elite Division, but arguably one of the top goalies in the world.
So with that, again, just a few moments away now from puck drop, game 1 of 2, SAWO Esports and Goons going head to head. Valuable points, of course, up for grabs for both of these teams. Goons, especially as they are that much closer to the end of their regular season than the vast majority of teams in this division. So certainly intrigued to see how this one plays out. And if the last game or the last series is anything to go off of, the battle of 2 and 16, it was as close and competitive as it was, at least through that first game. Can imagine the expectations for this one. Of course, heading into this season, Goons, one of those teams that a few seasons ago people had very, very high hopes for. They haven't quite been able to play up to that level of expectation where, rightfully so, they were viewed as a team that could maybe push for potential title contention. I don't think that's unfair to say. That is what was going on at the time in terms of hype level. And there have been positives. You talked about Leitinen, how well he has done in terms of scoring, tied for second in points entering play today. His evolution and what he's brought to this team. Piku Roger, former rookie of the season. And then, of course, on the other side for SAWO, they finished second last year in terms of points, but lost in round 1 to the now departed Granite Gaming squad. So they have a lot to prove as well heading into this particular matchup. As I am intrigued, it looks like we might be getting a double playmaker setup, perhaps. I'm waiting to see what that late change from Piku Roger could be. And it is a switch back to puck moving defenseman, I do believe. So nothing. No, it is playmaker. Okay, so you don't see that too often. Normally it's playmaker down the middle and puck movers on the wings, or everywhere else, I should say, with the rare exception of a sniper and a power forward. So intrigued to see what that might do in terms of this matchup. But again, we want to remind you all, we want to see the best and worst that NHL 22 has had to offer you on Twitter and Instagram. When you post your clips, use the hashtag eHockeyMoments. You'll have an opportunity to win some IQ Fuel. We're giving away a prize package there every single week until the end of June. Again, that's hashtag eHockeyMoments on Twitter and Instagram. Now, in terms of, again, this matchup, though, just so much, B-Major, for these two teams to play for. Real statement win up for grabs as we look to get the action underway here. It's game number 1. So again, it is SAWO in the home black uniform, Goons in the road whites. 5 men on the line early on for SAWO. As much as we talk about Nikkei's impressive save percentage, obviously a big part of that is the defensive structure for SAWO. But the end of the day, I feel like it's a real life thing too. People want to discredit some goaltenders for, the team that might be in front of them. You still have to make the stops, and Nikkei has done that better than just about anybody this season.
Yeah, not only do you still have to make the stops, but you have to make more impressive stops to a certain extent, because obviously you might not get the same amount of chances or shots on net that you would maybe see if not for that 5-man trap. But more times than not, when you're able to break through that, it's a high quality opportunity that your goaltender is going to face, especially when you are facing such a high level competition here in the Elite Division. So it might not be the 15 to 20 save performance that many would maybe like to see, that's flashy on the stat sheet, but those 7 to 8 saves that those goalies do make, boy, are they ever so impressive.
Goons unable to do much in the offensive zone there. SAWO back in control. Been a bit of a slower start here to this first period. Had the team able to really pressure going. SAWO looking to change that. And Goons able to win it right back. Leitinen had a steam down the ice, pass across. Mosier there to break that one up. Back in possession here. More time now. It is the SAWO back in control. See what Cascatalo can do. Hands it off for Leitonen. Chance here down the other way. Shot on and a save. Puck back up for grabs. Good poke check to knock that one loose. Batu. Now Wenger able to strip that one away. Interesting start to this game here. The defense for both sides standing tall.
Yeah, pretty slower paced start, but a very strategic start as well. You're seeing the defense really step up, like you said. It's going to be interesting to see if that opens up as the game goes on, or if maybe this is going to be one of those goaltending defensive battles to where you only see 1 or 2 goals between these two sides.
Goons trying to find their way to break in. Here's Leitonen, hit the side of the goal. Another chance and a backhand stop by Nike. Back to the point. Good shot and a good save. Best chance of the game so far for either side.
Yeah, and I was kind of looking at Nike there to see where he was going to be and how he was going to read that play. And the way he was able to read where that puck was going to bounce, he was in perfect position to make that big save. A nice job there from Goons to get that play set up in a game that hasn't had a lot of space available to either side, but just a better read from Nike, showing why he is one of those top-end goalies like we talked about coming in.
Back into the attacking zone for Goons. Another kick save by Nike. Plays this one out. SAWO looking to get something going. Pika Raja the steal. And yeah, instinct would tell you he'd hold on to the puck the second time around.
Yeah, he wasn't going to take that risk. He had a little bit of a risk factor after doing it the first time, and I like the idea of it because things haven't been coming easy offensively for either side. Maybe kind of throw things off a little bit, catch Goons off guard, but after that first time didn't really go to success, wasn't going to take the risk the second.
Stamo able to pick that one up. Goons trying to keep it in, goes back to the neutral zone. Now it is Kriketsi. Wenger hounded by the forechecking pressure. Leitonen head of steam, shot just wide, low glove side. Wenger's shot blocked down by Yerska. He and Vatu have a bit of a step. Pika Roger trying to catch up, sauced across, and a great job by Kriketsi to take it away. Game starting to open up a little bit. These two teams generating chances. Leitonen, double team pressure was too much. Pika Roger stopped by the blockers. We have a man down. Vatu still struggling to get to his feet for SAWO. SAWO now back in control. We're already in that final minute of the first period. Here is Vatu dealing with the injury, but he still makes the feed. Yerska with the goal. And SAWO ESPORTS strike first here in the final minute of the first period.
How about that there, Tugi? I was just getting ready to talk about how the injury from Vatu was kind of a bit of an example of what we saw. Kriketsi being aggressive, laying the body on and causing that injury. I was going to say, well, how could that affect things for SAWO? Well, the answer, not at all. They get the first goal of the game off of a beautiful pass, one winger to the other, Vatu to Yerska, and a big goal, and things starting to open up here, and SAWO the beneficiaries of it at the end of this first.
Final few seconds, they might not be done. Leitonen trying to kill the clock. Shot with all of the power in the world. Did go wide. And we will see a 1-0 lead here for SAWO off of this goal as we head into the second period.
Yeah, just a beautiful passing play from the two wingers of SAWO. And, you know, Tugi, it's interesting how fast these games can switch. We talked about how things were a little bit slower to start out, how we didn't really see a lot of offensive action between these two sides, and the defense was showing out with that 5-man trap and not really a lot of space between either side. But all of a sudden, you saw these quick counterattacks off of turnovers, a 2-on-1 here, a 2-on-1 there, and SAWO with a nice play causing that turnover, using a solid forecheck. Vatu gets over, finds Yerska on a nice pass, and opens the scoring up on what was a pretty slow offensive period for the side.
Started off a bit slow, certainly picked up down the stretch with teams getting opportunities. 1-0 lead, though, carrying over into the second period here for SAWO. See how Goons respond. That's been one of the things we talk about pretty much every single game. I mean, whether or not it's heading into game 2 or not, just the idea of how a team responds. There's a lot not only in the regular season, but the playoffs as well, as Pika Roger with a good interception there. Here's Lightning, head of steam. A little bit of space and another save by Nike. Great job to not cheat to that far side with the 1T threat of Wenger. Vatu for Mozia. Sends that one around for Yurska. Back to the point. A lot of room here for SAWO to work with. In the attacking zone, a heavy collapse from Goons. Finally, they get that aggressiveness going. They win back possession. Corner, Tomba was there to recover for SAWO. Slow things down. Mozia turns it over. Pika Roger throws one on, and Nike again comes up big. And the less of that from SAWO, the better.
Yeah, and you kind of blinked for a second, and all of a sudden, Goons were on a nice little counterattack after SAWO was kind of trying to set things up and maybe get into the offensive zone. A nice aggressive play there from Goons gets themselves back in the offensive zone where they've really been so far in this game, most of the game.
It's down the other way. That one fired wide. Yurska able to hold on to it. Now again, SAWO working it around the attacking zone. Wenger says not for long. Pika Roger has a step. Breakaway scores! SAWO played with fire for a bit too long. They get burned here, and we are tied at 1.
You said that perfectly there, Tugi. Playing with fire with a little bit too long. SAWO got that opening goal, but were a little bit sloppy to start out the second period. You saw a few close turnovers. Goons not able to capitalize on them, but the thing with this Goons team and many of the top teams in this elite division, you give them too many chances, more times than not, after a while, one of these sides are going to make you pay. A nice job from Piku Roger taking advantage on that breakaway, beating Unique and tying this game up.
SAWO can't hold this in the attacking zone. A huge chance there for Goons that was capitalized on to tie this one up. Scramble for the puck. Goons do have it. Espatalo now, the centerman, takes a huge hit. Penalty coming as he's still struggling to get back to his feet. The man advantage is coming up here. Extra attacker is on. Fincona out. Lighted him back to the point. Great job there. See what Ketzi can do. Fincona now around the back. Ketzi back at the point. Patience on display by Goons. Can they take advantage? Shot, kick, save by Nike, and possession kept alive. Great work there. This one's going to go all the way back. We have a foot race. Batu going to try to pressure. He elects to hold off, and we have one of the more extended examples of 6-on-5 that we've seen in a while. And finally, it's touched up. The Goons power play going to get to go to work.
Yeah, I don't think Fincona's complaining too much, though. It's not often you see the goalie get that involved for that long, but here's a chance for Goons here, maybe on the power play after getting that goal to tie it up to take the lead. They haven't been a great team on the power play so far, 10th in the league, but nevertheless, this is a chance for them to maybe get things going a little bit here and get that goal to maybe take this lead here in the middle of the second.
Roger hands that one off. Goons going to try to get something going here. Loose puck. Still fought on for and cleared out by Tombu. Spoon's going to look to hopefully get quickly reestablished in the attacking zone. Easier said than done despite the man advantage. They do a good job of it. Escatalo right through the blue paint. Nobody home on the other side. Good interception again by Tombu. Can't fully clear the zone though. Ketzi tried to get that one in front. Poked loose. Big save, Nike. Second chance, and the pass doesn't go. Pika Roger the wraparound. Still no follow-up chance. We're back to 5-on-5. Some decent looks. The defensive scrambles, though, working for SAWO. That shot, another save by Nike. 4 minutes to go here in the second period. 1-0 SAWO after one. Goons tied it up here. Goal from Pika Roger, and this pace, we expect to see more goals, but you never know. The next one could hold up as the winner. Leitinen has it here. Rocketed into the SAWO zone. Nobody there. Of course, no icing. We play on. Tambu, self-pass. Final minute. SAWO might look to essentially wind down the shot clock here. What a pass. Yerska with a bit of space. Tried to go for Vatu. Couldn't hit him. Teemu on the half wall. Sends it low. 5 seconds. Yerska to Tambu. Can't get that one through the traffic. It's cleared. And that will do it. 1-1 heading into the third period of play. We'll get a look at some of the physicality, unsurprisingly, from Kriketsi.
Yeah, we talked about that coming in. The captain is the leading hitter in this league. And, you know, how about Goons? They're laying a punch here in this game, both in the scoreboard and with the physicality. We're seeing so much of an impact from the way Goons have played, that aggressive play style. SAWO just hasn't had a lot so far. The 2 shots on net, just a few minutes of time on attack. Goons have really controlled the way that this game has gone. And I think that that can really be told by that last possession or so that we saw. You saw SAWO really having to slow things down, having to reset, and not having a lot of success getting past that blue line and entering the offensive zone. So we spent some time talking about how Goons have struggled defensively. Well, so far, you wouldn't think it looking at the way they've played through the first 40 minutes of play.
We get ready for the third period here. Again, just the first game of 2 in these 2 clubs. Of course, our final broadcast here for our Week 5 coverage of the ECL Elite Division. As always, the action brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Koval and Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. And this is the final broadcast that we have for Week 5, and as well, before we hit a week-long break in the season. So again, you want to carry as much momentum into the break as you can. It might be beneficial to the teams that aren't doing as hot as they'd like to be doing, heading into that final week, and playoffs not all that far away. Still some big announcements inbound in terms of the postseason as well. Stay tuned, of course, sportsgamer.gg for all the info you need. As Leitninen's shot rejected by the defense. B Major, with the way that this goes, any opportunity could be the one to get that go-ahead goal. And again, I can't help but think we might be in store for a 2-1 final.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, and it's a question that we kind of rose earlier in this game. We saw things as defensive as they were. Was it something to where it was just a feel-out period and things would open up as we go, or would it be a trap-based defensive-centric game? And so far, it's been the latter. The next chance could very well be what wins it, especially with time starting to dwindle down.
Space in the pass across, picked off by Teemu. Remember that one on the 2-on-1 attempt for the Goons forwards there. The wingers, again, trying to push this team forward. They've been as good of a dynamic duo as you can have this season. There's Catalo back for Leitinen again. Pika Roger. This goes back to the neutral zone, as both teams struggling to gain an offensive foothold. The set attack, and again, Kriketsi not liking what he's seeing and trying to find that little bit of space. SAWO not giving them an inch, refusing to budge along that blue line, and Keskatalo's offside.
Yeah, and you know, Tugi, I know that these types of games might not be the most entertaining for the high-scoring crowd, but just the strategicness of both of these 2 sides has been so fun to watch. Kind of that patience trying to find that right play, because time and space is at such a premium. There's not a lot of it out there. You're seeing both of these teams are trying to find that little bit of space to break past that 5-man trap, and so far, neither all that successful in terms of finding that next goal to get the lead.
SAWO trying to find their way to get their offense going. It's their chance to see if they can break down that blue line trap of Goons. Goons certainly looking like they're wanting to push the agenda a little bit more. Getzi gets that for Pika Roger. Big stretch pass for Leitinen. This is the chance they wanted. Short side. Nike with the save. And that's the problem. You finally get that little bit of space, and then you still have to beat probably the hottest goaltender in the world. Yerska finds space. SAWO 2-1 And we said it could be out of nowhere. It very much was.
Yeah, and both goals on the stick of Vierska, and it was one of those things you kind of look up, you see Goons with it at first, and then all of a sudden, on the counterattack, it's SAWO getting a goal, and Tugi, you couldn't have said it any better time. When you get that one chance, you have to take advantage of it. Well, Goons had their chance, Unique made the save, SAWO went right back on the other end and took advantage of their opportunity, and all of a sudden, they're up 2-1, and with quite the advantage with the way this game has flowed.
Have fortunately not been able to take advantage of the fact that they were able to tie this game up. 5.5 to go. Pressure certainly on them now to get that next goal. Keskitalo couldn't hold the zone. Great bump to knock it loose. 5:12 remaining. We will see if that 2-1 scoreline prediction happens to hold. Face off, SAWO a clean win. Lightning a good interception, but turns it right back over. SAWO in the attacking zone. Perhaps going to look for the kill. Moja can't hold on to it. Here's Keskitalo now for Kirketsi. Stretch pass off the mark. It's going to go down for icing. And for Goons now, the clock certainly serving to be more of an enemy.
Yeah, the clock is definitely not their friend at the moment, and something else you're going to have to think about is now that trap has been so successful for them, they're going to have to break away from that a little bit if they want to get a chance to tie this game. They're going to have to forecheck and get aggressive because SAWO going to have no issues just holding the possession and letting that clock wind down.
Goons have it in the attacking zone. Nobody home on the pass. The patience on display by Tombu. Roger. Across, big glove save by Nike as we hit the final 2 minutes of play again. Just so composed in goal.
Yeah, and he read that play through and through. It was a nice setup there from Goons, but Unique just reading that play like a book, read that through all the way, was in perfect position, and just another example of the benefits of having an elite goalie you can trust between the pipes.
Breakaway chance here, perhaps. Vatu waits for the help. Good job by the defense. And a power play coming up from SAWO. Incredible. We talked about the the tendency to take penalties here. They've stayed out of the box for the most part. What a horrible time, unfortunately, for the centerman Keskitalo to go to the box.
Yeah, it's the last thing you needed, and it looked like he was just trying to hold that stick out for the positioning, but once they were able to pick that puck up, it drew that tripping animation.
2 for Yurska. That pass off the mark, but the clock will continue to tick down. 50 seconds remaining in this one. Goons need essentially a power kill here. They got to be aggressive as they possibly can be. Lightning has it, knocked loose, gets it back. It's sent down low by Kirketsi. Looking to step up, contact. Wenger has it. Piku Roger across, just wide. The far side post. Here's Wenger now. Over for Pika Roger. Shot blocked down in front and sent down by SAWO. They're going to risk the icing. Vatu doesn't win the race. They called it even. And for Goons, this is the opportunity. Yeah, we're going to see a timeout here. No surprise.
Yeah, I think you might have said it, but this is more of a power kill here for the Goons. This is exactly what they needed more times than not. When you're a man short and down late in the game, you kind of see the team that has that lead with that power play just hold the possession, but after that face-off, SAWO have just not been able to get in the offensive zone enough to do that, and Goons with a prime opportunity here in the offensive zone, but one thing to keep in mind, their centerman is in the box in Keskitalo, so it's going to be Lightning taking this face-off. That could be a huge advantage in favor of the team of SAWO Esports.
Here we go. This is it. This is the time. They elect not to pull the goaltender, however. Might that cost them? The extra man out there right now might help. Poked away by Yurska. Over to Vatu. Scores on the backhand. SAWO capped this one off. It's 3-1. The power play tally. And again, a little bit surprised we didn't see the extra attacker out there to even up the odds off the face-off.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. You would figure you would want that 5-on-5 if you can get it. And Vincona is a guy to where he is a goalie, but he's a smart player as well. You never know what he would have been able to do if you given that opportunity to even up the numbers. But we're never going to know now, unfortunately. But for SAWO, they're not complaining. They're going to go ahead and snag a win and a big 2 points in the standings.
Maybe a chance for one more. Yurska gets ran over. 3-1, the final score. SAWO get the victory. And a big result for them as they continue their push to get back towards the top of the standings.
They finished second last season, and they just moved up to third for this season. They have that goal differential advantage for GOONS, so they would have the tiebreaker at 30 points apiece. So that's a big result for SAWO to go ahead and get that to kind of close that gap on Frölunda, and all of a sudden, you kind of look at things, and SAWO with this next game could very well establish themselves within that top three if they can collect 4 out of 4 points. But GOONS, a very well played game, just unfortunately a couple of mistakes here and there cost them in that third period to give SAWO the result.
Certainly a big second game coming up. Again, we'll have that for you in just a few minutes. But for now, we focus on the game that was a 3-1 victory for SAWO Esports, as they were able to essentially put the clamps on in that third period down the stretch. And again, that's the issue for GOONS. You know, you have those opportunities, and then the problem is you still have to find a way again to beat Nikkei down the other side. And obviously easier said than done. Look at that for SAWO. Just 4 shots, but 3 goals. Incredible efficiency.
Yeah, and I think that the big thing for SAWO is that they took advantage of their opportunities on the counterattack, where unfortunately for GOONS, they were not able to as much, whether it just be a missed opportunity or a big save from their goaltender in Unique. It was just one of those things where GOONS were not able to capitalize on those chances. Well, in comparison, whenever SAWO had that counterattack, they were able to find a way to put the puck in the net. It's really what made the difference for them in this game.
So we got another look here at the goals. This was a rather interesting a moment there. Off, you know, the choice of words here is gonna be it's gonna be interesting. We'll go with off the hindquarters. Let's go with hindquarters. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate for Vincona. You know, less squats, and it might not have gone in. It might not have had as much to bounce off of.
You can't blame a guy for wanting to stay in good shape. Just an unfortunate play there for Vincona. But, you know, like we said, SAWO not complaining. And I guess it's just an example. You put that puck on net, you never know what can happen. It can even go off the old backside, I guess we'll say. So SAWO will definitely take that goal. It got them to 2 points in this game. And now you look towards game 2 to where they have a chance to really take control of that third spot in the standings. So it's going to kind of be fun, but you have to feel for GOONS. They've played well, just a couple of plays here unfortunately cost them that game. Only 4 shots on that. You usually would feel that the team that only allowed that would be the ones to win, but credit SAWO for taking advantage of their chances. Got them to win there in the first game.
Needless to say, GOONS are going to want to put that game in the rear view. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors for the second game of this series and the fourth and final game of our broadcast. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody, we are back. Again, a big thank you, as always, to Wilhelm, Covalent Lacrosse, and ST Hockey. As we head into this next matchup, though, again, the fourth and final game of this broadcast, the second between SAWO and GOONS, we do want to remind you, of course, of some of the other action that's been going on around the league. A very busy match day here on this Wednesday. So we got to look here at the latest results. Of course, a little bit earlier on in this broadcast, we had Frölunda and IQ. Again, Frölunda taking both of those games and getting all 4 points. H-Reds, a big victory over Roots. The Coal Miners getting a win over ZSC. But how about that? YMCA, the double over Stargazing, certainly opening up the door for IQ to catch that newly promoted club from the Pro Division and maybe send them right back down.
And boy, did YMCA need that. And something to keep in mind, YMCA, they're not totally out of the playoff race after getting those 2 wins. They're only 4 points behind ZSC Esports, who did take a loss to Fallon Coal Miners. So you're kind of seeing some of those teams outside the playoff picture picking up some points slowly but surely, crunching in that playoff picture a little bit tighter. Only 4 points separating about 5 or 6 teams from 8 on down to 13. So this is going to be a really fun home stretch of the season, especially as some of these teams continue to match up against one another, as we're seeing here.
Absolutely. So again, here we go. The teams are matched up, lobbied, and are ready to go. We'll see what Goons are able to do. Certainly a very important result for them coming up. I mean, on pace to make the playoffs, but we'll see what happens perhaps moving forward as again you see the action that we have seen today. And again, a reminder, we will not be back for a little bit. It's a week-long break in the action next week. But after that, Sunday, May 22nd. Again, our special primetime start time of 17:45 CEST. We will be back. Yippee Voskala taking on Roots Gaming, and you will see Frölunda in action against H-Reds. Again, the biggest matchup of the season, as that has been our final for the past 3 seasons in a row, with H-Reds taking the last two, and of course, becoming the first ever back-to-back champions this division's ever seen. Perhaps, of course, as well, we could see the quadruple between those two teams, as H-Red certainly have their sights set on becoming the first ever 3-time champions. And a big save early on by Fincona. Of course, it's one of those interesting things as well, be major, that new split season format. If H-Reds were to win this season as well, there is no grand final between season winners. They are the grand champions by pulling off the double, and that is still viewed as an extremely realistic possibility, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and you can't blame them. And some of these teams, like the two we're seeing today, don't want to see that happen. They maybe want to play for that grand final. So there's a little bit of pride on the line as well. None of these teams want to see H-Red sweep. They want to be in that top conversation as the best team in Europe. They're going to have a chance, but got to take care of these games in the regular season and then in the playoffs as well to get there.
Absolutely. So an early power play opportunity here for SAWO. Shockingly, tied for 15th in terms of power play percentage out of the 16 teams entering play today, whereas Goons, the 11th ranked PK, and a good save early on there. Again, Goons, the second most penalty minutes entering play today. They find themselves in this situation far more often than they would like to hope for.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of that aggressive defensive play can kind of result to some of those penalties. They're a team that hits a lot and use their stick a little bit as well. So sometimes you kind of lean on the side of undisciplinedness when you do lay the body around as much as they do.
Intercepted here by Leitinen, trying to get that speed going down the other way. The cut back to shot. Good short-handed opportunity. Kriketsi has that one picked off. A mistake made. Vatu in behind the defense. Scores! What a finish. That was a thing of beauty. Vatu makes it 1-0 for SAWO.
Yeah, I might want to put that in hashtag eHockey moments if you're Vatu. That's a beautiful play. He was already up at the opposite blue line waiting for that pass, and you said it there, Tuki. A little bit of a lapse defensively for Goons, and SAWO, they have done all season and all series long, taking advantage, and Vatu putting a beautiful move to beat Fincona. A great play, and an even better result for SAWO to take a 1-0 lead early.
A huge result there as, again, Goons maybe just a little bit too aggressive on that power play as Irska nearly got a hold of that one. Tombu down there in the mix as well, the defender getting involved. Chance here perhaps for Pika Roger, and a good interception by Temu to take that one away. And a tremendous start here for SAWO. Get that early goal. Taking advantage of that Goons aggressiveness that can certainly come back to haunt them, as we've seen this season. Keskatalo's pass intercepted by Vatu. This one off to the side, and Goons looking to tighten up defensively here. Pika Roger in possession now. Leitinen over for Kriketsi. Throws one on. Gloved. The emphasis to reach over. Don't make the save with the blocker. Make it with the glove, despite being left-handed.
Yeah, you know, Goons is trying to find some momentum back in this game. They went from being on the power play and having a chance to get that first goal to allowing that first goal to go in on them. So a team that's established the offensive zone as well as they have today would be huge for them to maybe capitalize.
SAWO back in the attacking zone. Up along, looking to get reestablished. Back down the boards, Moja for Vatu. Try to get it to Yurska. Good defense again on display here. 9 minutes to go. over the blue line. Roger. They completely stifle him. Finds Leitinen. He's hit off the puck. Stretch pass from Mozia. Nobody home on that follow-up pass. These two teams kind of stalemating right now. After that power play goal, and indeed, there's the offside.
Yeah, and, it's just kind of an example of what we saw from the last game. It's based off of counterattacks and quick chances that these two teams have had their opportunities to score. When it's slowed down, it's a 5-on-5 where you're trying to create a play off of the breakout. It's been a little bit slower. We haven't seen a lot of chances for either of these two sides. So a continuing trend from what we saw in Game 1 so far happening in Game 2 as well.
This one around the back. Goons going to maintain possession. Off along. SAWO again pressuring them. Add another goal to the board. Yurska's shot blocked. Batu recovers. Good job there by Leitinen. Trying to get something going. Down the other way. It is Goons here. 3.5 to play in this first period. Leitinen shot, and Nikke always makes it look so easy.
Yeah, but let me tell you, that is no easy save, to say the least. It's just Nikke so smart in the way that he plays things out, and that he has that ability to really read the play and have that reaction time as well to combine with it. When you have those two traits as the goalie, usually makes for some pretty elite play.
Another good save there. Goons starting to get that offense going a little bit here. Wenger at the point. Nearly had that pass picked off. The one-timer and a good blocker save by Nikke. Roger. Interception there by Mozia. Goons fighting to keep it alive. Vatu. Stripped of the puck. And difficult to tell with SAWO. He is wearing the golden helmet, though, as opposed to the yellow. Team's leading scorer. Always look out for that. But here we go, Goons. One more rush attempt. Leitinen will recover. 3 seconds. Kriketzi. Shot tipped, and it's saved. And covered with 0.9 to go. So it will be a 1-0 SAWO lead. The end of the first period. Same story that we saw at the end of the first game.
Yeah, Unique had to be pretty sharp on that play. That was a pretty dangerous opportunity from Goons. So they didn't really have it easy there to end that period. But like you said, Tugi, a 1-0 lead for them. And just like we've seen, it just takes that one chance and a score can change in an instant. It was Vatu to put the puck into that to make it 1-0 and give his team the lead.
And you get a look at the goal. Just a fantastic snipe by Vatu. That's really the only way to put it. That was a tremendous shot, making the most of that opportunity. As again, not too often you'll get a breakaway on a power play situation, but Goons chose to be aggressive, and you see the end result. 3 men trying to get back. It was just too little too late.
Yeah, I think the thing that's most impressive about that shot there from Vatu is that if you're Fincona, you're probably expecting him to just go forehand on the left side, but it was a bit of a forehand and backhand into one. He kind of shot it in the middle of his stick positioning to where that's not usually an angle that you're expecting to cover as a goalie. So just a really smart play from Vatu, using that space that he saw with the open net, knowing that Fincona was waiting for him to shoot at that left side and taking that space and capitalizing with the score.
Second period underway here. A good outlet pass to Vatu. Cut in and a big save by Fincona. Vatu entered play today. 21 goals, tied or just an outright possession of second place in terms of goal scoring. I think you can see why. Putting on an absolute show here with his ability to get these high-quality chances. Leitinen back for Wenger at the point. Leitinen again, that shot blocked and around the back of the net. Leitinen again off the side of the cage. We'll recover it down low. Kriketzi works his way back to the point, running into trouble. Strong on the puck though, and fortunately for him, Vatu was there to interrupt that pass. In behind the goal line. Tambu battling for it. Tamu there to help him out. Goons certainly upping the pressure here in the offensive zone, trying to keep these pucks alive. Might come back to haunt them. Here's Tambu. Shot, scores! That puck had eyes. 2-0 for SAWO as Tombu gets his first goal of the season. May have deflected. I mean, how do you read that one, B Major?
Yeah, that's a really tough play there. It might have deflected because I don't think Vincona was ready for that at all. Tombo just kind of putting it on that, seeing what happens, and you said that puck had eyes. Well, the eyes were wide open and went through the two pads of Vincona. That's a really tricky goal for a goalie to stop, and SAWO in a good 2-0 lead and quite the advantage with saves like that being made from Unique as well.
Love to get another look at that goal and the outright replay options that the players have available at intermission or the end of the game. That was incredibly bizarre to see a goal scored like that. Just, I don't know if it caught the keeper off guard, off angle, what it was. But regardless, the result is the same. 2-0 lead now for SAWO, and they might not be done. As they keep this puck alive. Batu. The off wing tried to go down low. Kescatalo took it away. And again, this Goons offense, we talked about it. Tied for the second most goals in the league. As that one just doesn't go. Yurska hits the post and Vincona forced to cover. But Goons tied for the second most goals in the league. Fourth most in terms of goals per game. And so far, still held to just the one goal through about 4.5 periods played.
Yeah, and it's not been from a lack of chances. It's just Unique doing such a good job between the pipes, not allowing them to score on a lot of the opportunities that they have had. So it's kind of one of those things to where you just have to kind of keep grinding at it, hope you can find a way to beat past, even if it has to be off a play like a rebound or a tip.
Good job by Lightning to cancel out that icing. Tried to go down low. Back to the point instead with Pico Roger. His pass off the mark. And just nothing seeming to be clicking right now for Goons. Again, it was a 3-1 SAWO victory in game one. At one point, that was a 1-1 game. We have 8 minutes to play here in the second, and a huge hit there drops Moja. Goons have to find a way to try to break down SAWO, as prolific as their offense is. The defensive game, equally as impressive. Leitinen scores! What a snipe that was. Goons back to within one. That's all they need is one chance, and it was the rare moment where Nike was caught off the angle.
Yeah, and who better to go to than your leading goal scorer in Leitinen to get you back into this game? We just said it, Tugi. The Goons have to find a way to capitalize on one of these chances. It's not been from a lack of opportunities. It's just a matter of finding a way to beat Nike, and they did so right there. Definitely one that Nike might want to have back, but not going to get a chance to. And now Goons with a critical goal to cut this deficit of theirs in half.
SAWO not able to capitalize there. It is worth noting the prediction in chat, because we have an icing call here. There was one person to bet on Goons with 20 points compared to the 114,000 points put up for SAWO. So if we got a Goons victory here, I think someone's going to have enough channel points to buy stock in the company. So congratulations on that. Pico Roger has it here. Again, kind of slowing things down with 3.5 minutes to play here in the period. Goons have it. Pass in front. Bouncing around. Dangerous moment there for Nike. It does stay out. And now what an effort by Erska. Just doesn't go. Great opportunities for both teams here. Final minute now in the second. Shot taken to the chest of Vincona. And he'll save. And hold on.
Yeah, and SAWO, you're kind of seeing them get back going to that offensive play that we saw them with earlier in this game. The opportunities have been few and far between for both these sides, but when SAWO have been able to have those quick looks, more times than not, they've been able to take advantage of it. Now it's another example of that there.
Final few moments here. Goons looking to get that zone entry. They can't. Maybe opening the door for SAWO. Yurska the interception, Vatu, and just running out of time. So a 2-1 lead for SAWO after a goal from Leitinen, but again, we'll see the physicality that Kriketsi brings to the lineup.
Yeah, we know Kriketsi will lay that body around plenty for the big hits. That's nothing short of a big hit right there, but the story for Goons definitely going to be the goal that cut that lead of SAWO's in half, as the goal from Leitinen makes it 2-1, and it couldn't have come at a bigger point, Toogie, because we've talked about the defensive play in this game, the way that this game has trended, not a lot of opportunities for either side compared to how we saw earlier, and with SAWO having that lead, it wasn't really going to be a good look going into this third period down 2, so it's huge for Goons to cut that lead in half and give themselves a much better opportunity to maybe tie this game up going into the third.
Indeed, as we'll get a look here. Oh, it deflected. A last-second deflection for that goal for Tombu, which right now serves as the go-ahead goal. So I was hoping to get a look at that. It did look like it went in clean. It was just an angle that we couldn't quite see. And here we go. Third period underway. And a near record-setting offside record there. A record-setting offside record. Caught me off guard. 11 seconds. It's almost it is impressive outright to be able to go offside that fast. So here we go. Play continues. SAWO into the attacking zone again. Moshe, net puck nearly finding its way to the wide open Yurska. Fight Wenger for this one. Vatu there to assist. Yurska in possession. Bumped off the puck. Roger, great drop pass. What a give and go. Pass again. And Nike sticks with it. What an effort for Goons. Leitinen just kind of running out of runway.
Yeah, that was a pretty passing play there for Goons, and you've seen, like we said with SAWO, when both of these teams have that space to get into the offensive zone, they've typically made good out of it. That was a nice chance for Goons, but just a better save there by Nike.
SAWO having a little bit of trouble here clearing this puck out. Finally able to settle things down. Reception there by Wenger. Leitinen in for Pika Roger. What a move. Tried to cut in. Leitinen. Shot scores! Keskatalo has tied this game at 2. As he's able to tuck that one in, the net front presence pays off.
You know what? We said it, Toogie. You have to find a way to beat Nike if you want to get back into this game if you're Goons, and that's exactly what they've done. Leitinen with the nice move earlier to capitalize on the shaky positioning of Nike on the first goal, and for the second goal, just putting that puck on net. Keskatalo is at the right place to get that second look, and you can only stop so many shots when they come in such a flurry like that, so Goons taking advantage of that flurry of shots, putting that one in, and just like that, it's a brand new game.
A great opportunity now for Goons to pull off this comeback. We know SAWO, though, have it in him to cap this game off, but here comes Pika Raja for Goons. Big flying poke check from Nike. Fortunately for Pika Raja, the goal is to put the puck in the back of the net, not yourself. So we stay tied at 2. Back of the goal. Fortunately for Yurska, still down on the ice, gets back to his feet. Now Vatu throws it in front. Yurska shot block. Vatu's backhand fought off by Fincona. 11.5 to go here in regulation, and what is now a tie game. Goons battling back from 2-0 down. Right in for Wenger now with the point. Throws one on. Nike to save. Rebound was there. Good job by the SAWO defense.
It'll be interesting to see how SAWO can maybe take the momentum back in this game. They had that 2-0 lead, but ever since, it feels like Goons have really kind of taken the control of the way this game has flowed, and SAWO kind of on their heels a little bit. Gonna have to find a way to get back to the offensive attack that they had early in this game to maybe get this lead back in their favor.
A big face-off here in the SAWO zone. One cleanly. Shot, kick, save. Okay, again, trouble there, though. There's a picking up the puck for Pika Raja, but it is Goons still in control. That shot locked down. Here goes Vatu. People to fend off. Great passing. What a snipe! Yurska makes it 3-2 in favor of SAWO with a beauty of a shot just beyond the midway point of the period.
And we have not been shorted of snipes in this game, or even in general in our cast today, Tugi. That is an absolute rip there from Yerska. You kind of have to feel for Fincona. I don't think he expected that shot to happen the way it did, and there might have been a little bit of traffic in front of him as well, but nevertheless, Yerska picked that spot so perfectly. Couldn't have done it much better than what he did, and we said SAWO needed to get that momentum back on their side. What better way to do it than to take the lead back 3-2?
Goes right back in, though. 7 minutes to play. Trying to walk away with a point or two today after missing out in game one. SAWO get it out of the zone. Teemu wanted Yerska again. Good job by Lehtinen to break that one up. Under 6 minutes to play now here in this game. For Roger. Bumped off the puck. SAWO. Teemu leading the way, and a good job by Mozio. Just cut off. Atu battling for it down low. Mozio right back to him in front, taken away. It's Pika Roger for Goons. Head of steam, finds the Lehtinen and wanted that spin pass. Loose puck, still in front. And SAWO at least get it back to the point. Kirketsy's shot goes wide. 3 minutes to play here in regulation. Will Yerska's goal hold up as the winner? Huge hit there. Mozio dropped. Numbers for Goons down the other way. Wenger stepping up. His shot. Knocked down by the stick of Tambu. Poked away. Tambu, a little bit of trouble. Handles it well. Batu carries out. Final minute here. Is it too little too late for Goons? Roger Keskatalo. It goes over to the half wall, and that's going to go down for an icing here more than likely. And indeed it does with 45 seconds to play.
And to me, this is the opportunity that Goons need to take advantage of. You get an offensive zone face-off. If you win it, you get a look in the offensive zone, get a cycle going, hopefully a few shots on that as well. But if you're not able to win this face-off, SAWO could very well just take the possession, let that clock kind of dwindle down, and play that time management game. So this is a very critical face-off for these two centermen, something we talked about coming in. Gonna have to see Kirketsy step up in the face-off dot and win it for his team.
See here, SAWO certainly more shots on goal compared to that first game as well. Let's pay it off. See what happens here as play continues. And 45 seconds to go. The face-offs have been close. Tie-up. Goons can't hold on to it. Batu for Yerska. Steps around the defender. Lehtinen back to assist, and a shot denied by Fincona. Mozio still trying to fight for it. 30 seconds to go now for Goons. Good movement, but they jump the line. It's offside with 24 seconds to go.
Now things becoming even more critical for Goons. Gotta find a way to get into the offensive zone and get a few shots on net immediately. You have to test DK to give yourself a chance, especially with just 24 seconds left in this game.
Etsy recovers. Like the last chance, Fincona going to try to head to the bench. Lehtinen offside, another valuable 9 seconds off the clock.
I think you have to give SAWO some credit, just trying to keep Goons away from Nikkei, not giving them a shot on net. The 5 players so far for SAWO doing a great job together defensively.
Here we go. Can they gain the zone? Here's Lehtinen, his pass off the mark. Final 5 seconds. Kirketsy stepping up. They're offside. And that will all but do it. SAWO, barring the miracle of all miracles, will pull off the double over Goons here. Heartbreak for them. 2 close games. One more chance. That shot doesn't go. And indeed, 4 points in the bag for SAWO. They pull off the double over Goons. It's Yerska's phenomenal wrist shot that serves as the game winner.
How about the defense after that phenomenal shot from Yerska that won them this game? Goons never with a lot of opportunities after that goal that they got to tie this thing up. It just kind of felt like SAWO really clamped things down, got it together, and all 5 skaters in front of Nikkei didn't allow them to get anything easy on him. Just a great overall effort from the SAWO team, and all of a sudden, we kind of mentioned earlier, they wanted to get those 4 points. They kind of creep back into that race of the top 3 with H-Reds and Ferlando, while for Goons, sliding a little bit slowly but surely. Not a lot of games in hand. They've played more games than any team in the Elite Division, and they've actually lost 3 of their last 4, so not what you want to see with little games in hand. Give some of those teams behind them from 4 on down an opportunity to maybe pass them up, considering they do have some games in hand over this team.
3-2, the final score. Again, a huge result for SAWO. They move to 32 points on the season. Goons will stay at 30. I believe now it's just 4 games remaining for Goons in the regular season campaign. Just what a shot there by Vatu to completely catch Fincona off guard on that first goal. And then again, SAWO was able to double it up. This goal deflecting off of the knee of Piku Roger, who was back to try to help out Tombuz again, first of the season. But Major, at this point, it was Goons able to battle back here to tie this game up.
Yeah, they were able to find a way, and it was a little bit questionable with the way SAWO were playing compared to the first game. In the first game, SAWO just took advantage of the few opportunities that they had, but in game 2, you saw them have a little bit more guile offensively. They generated some chances, and we kind of saw that SAWO offense that we were expecting to see coming into this matchup, but Goons battled back, found a way, but unfortunately just not enough as SAWO once again were able to find a goal to take the lead.
And again, it was Fincona leaving that little bit of space gloved side. That was the winning goal for Yerska. Again, 4 points in the books for SAWO. A big day for them. Of course, a big day again for us here. That brings our week 5 coverage to a close. Unbelievable to think it's 5 weeks in the books already. And unfortunately, I hate to see it, but again, we are about ready to kick off that week-long break in the season schedule. We'll be back May 22nd, Sunday, May 22nd, again, 17:45 CEST as Week 6 kicks off. It's the home stretch of this Elite Division season. Very much intrigued to see what happens again. We'll bring the action back to you with 2 major matchups, Yippee Voskala and Roots Gaming, and then again, the big one. It's for Lunda HC and H-Reds. Very much anticipating that matchup. And I mean, Roots Gaming actually playing H-Reds today and just took H-Reds to overtime. H-Reds with a 3-2 victory there. So again, a lot to play for. You get a look at the latest results. It was a double for H-Reds, a split for ZSC and the Fallon Coal Miners. Of course, you know now the second result of SAWO and Goons. It was 3-2 in favor of SAWO. So again, a lot still to be played for, a lot to still be decided. We'll get you one last look at the live standings here as things happen to be as we end this broadcast. Again, we know SAWO up to 32 points on the season. I do believe Goons now also on 32 with 26 games played. So still very close between those two teams, but SAWO with the 4 games in hand as they're trying to make up that ground against Frölunda. Easier said than done as you get a look there too at H-Reds. I mean, just an amazing continual effort on their part now to still be the top dogs in this division.
Yeah, just dominance overall from H-Reds, and it's so fun to watch them because you expect it, but at the same time, they expect it too. They hate losing more than they do winning. We heard Benito say that when we talked to him in the finals, and that shows up in their play. When you only lose 1 game in regulation all season long, that must be quite the hatred you have for losing because they don't do it often. So obviously them at the top, and then just such a tight race really from 5 all the way down to those last few playoff spots. So it's going to be a little bit unfortunate to be on the sidelines next week. And I want more, but you gotta have to wait sometimes to appreciate things even more. It's gonna be a lot of fun when we pick things back up in a little bit over a week when we kind of see the home stretch of the season. So absolutely enjoyed to commentate here with you today. A great 4 games that we saw. Hopefully we can do more of it here in the future. And congratulations to the 2 teams that got their wins here.
Again, you're able to catch B Major with our pro division coverage typically every Tuesday alongside King Liam. And again, everything that's going on, not just in the elite division, pro division, and below, can be found at sportsgamer.gg. Of course, our pro division playoffs, round one currently underway. So, again, all the information you need for that is there. We will be back. We will see you on the 22nd for the kickoff to week 6 and the mad dash to the playoffs that we will certainly see for that week. Again, we thank you all for watching. A big thank you to those behind the scenes to help make these broadcasts what they are. Big thank you to you for watching, and we will see you guys a little bit over a week. Enjoy the break, and then we'll be back. The push for the playoffs begin, or really kind of climaxes at the end, and then we get to the playoffs. H-Reds, will they go for the three-peat? They very well may. Very excited to see how it plays out. I'm going to stop talking. We'll see you guys down the road. Let's go with down the road. Let's get out of here. Shut me up. Stop me from talking. Just cut it off. We gotta go. We're